So I'm going to talk a little bit about two different sections of trade. One that I view as there's the administrative trade policy. When we say administration, we refer to President Obama and his camp. When we talk about Congress, we're referring, of course, to the House and the Senate. So first, I want to go briefly over what I see as happening in the administration. There's not a lot so far going on the free trade agreements that are pending. That's the Panama, the Colombia, and the Korea free trade agreement. We can talk a little bit more about those later. They are ready for President Obama to bring or send to the Congress for congressional approval. The action has to be initiated by the White House. So it's sort of a dual responsibility. Both the administration and Congress have to approve it, but the initiation needs to come from the administration. They're not going to do that until they get the signal from Congress, which is going to be Mrs. Pelosi and Senator Reid, that they're ready for that to come to the table. Or they're going to try to shove it down their throats. We don't know which one's going to happen. But looking at the administration, some of the other areas where there is actively trade-like things happening, one is the ACTA, the ACTA, which is the Anti-Counterfeiting and Trade Agreement. That's been going on for some time. We're probably in round number 7 or 9. It has several member countries that are involved in it. I know that that's a very big area, of course, for your industry, is, the anti-counterfeiting, and you want to make sure that your brands are protected. It's very important. Just so you know, there are active negotiations happening. The administration is leading those. They are trying to address these issues. I think, at least my personal perspective, is that your industry needs to make sure your voice is heard and that this doesn't just become all about software programming or movies or music, that it's got to be a lot more than that, and you all need to be protected as well. The Trans-Pacific, the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, those trade agreement negotiations are happening actually this week. While we're here, there's a group from the United States Trade Representative's Office and several other government agencies in Melbourne, Australia, and they are meeting to discuss among 7 countries. The countries right now are the U.S., Singapore, we have some friends here from Singapore, Brunei, New Zealand, Australia, Peru, and Vietnam. Vietnam is being included, and my understanding is much at the insistence of countries such as Singapore, because if you take a look at what's going on in that area of the world, who's the most growing and dynamic partner that might be a viable trade partner that you can negotiate with other than China, and it's going to be Vietnam. There are several countries who have said, me too, I want to be in it too. There's been some interest expressed by Costa Rica, by Chile, by Canada. If we're going to do a Trans-Pacific partnership, maybe some of these guys on this side. There's been some hint that maybe other countries with which the United States had begun free trade agreements, such as Malaysia and Thailand, might be brought into the TPP negotiations. So the administration is moving forward. It's going to be a 21st century agreement. Nobody knows what that means, but it's coming soon, so get ready.